Hollywood doesn't paint the right picture. There are some definitely dangerous places in Africa. In fact, I think South Africa is like the #1, like, most crime in any country in the world. So, but Ghana is like one of the safest places on this planet Earth. Especially, I think it's like rated #1 of, not of the world, but of Africa. It's like the safest country. They have a great relationship with America and some of the other, big time countries. And so they're a very peaceful country. Very, very nice people, very humble. And so there's not a lot of danger. I mean, I had one guy come up to me and he had like a blade in his hand. He was totally drunk though. So, and he was like bleeding. He said he was going to like kill me or something, but I think he forgot what was happening. And then he like fell over to the side, and that was like really it. Other than that, there's really not, I was never really in danger ever. So that shouldn't ever be a worry if you're going to Ghana. It's a very safe country. I thought I'd go there and see elephants and tigers and lions and cheetahs, but no, that's definitely not Ghana. There's this place called Kakum, which is in Cape Coast, and they have like these bridges from tree to tree, and apparently you can see elephants and stuff, but I never did. And so that's more South Africa to see all the wild game and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of insects, a lot of bugs, a lot of spiders. There's some monkeys. I did see a monkey one day, and he scratched my companion, so we were worried he was going to like die from like monkey poison or whatever it was. Malaria is transferred through mosquitoes, so there's tons of mosquitoes. Make sure you sleep in a mosquito net and take your malaria pill. I got malaria once, and it was the worst thing ever. And it just hits you. People have said it's just like a train, just like running you over. It comes suddenly, and it just rocks your world. It really just destroys your body. It weakens your immune system, vomiting, things coming out of your body that you don't normally like. And you get the chills. You just stop functioning, really. You'll shake. You'll have the worst time sleeping. And it's caused by a mosquito, so that's why it's important. And they said that the mosquito that passes malaria is really out from 5 to 7. That's like the time frame at night. So that's the time to really be cautious of if you're outside, to either wear repellent or have taken your medicine to prevent that. But it really is just not a fun thing to go through. Your body will shut down, and you will not want to do anything for like a week until you like fully recover. And so it really just rocks your world. Unfortunately, the night I got malaria, I had made myself, my mom sent me some macaroni and cheese, and so I was way excited to eat it. But because that was the night I ate it, I happened to throw it up. And I think anybody can relate to this. When you throw up something, whether it's food poisoning or just sickness, it is so hard to want to eat that particular food ever again. And so still to this day, macaroni and cheese just brings back that memory of awful, awful sickness. So I'm still trying to get over that. It is so hot and so humid. And even in the apartment, there's no air conditioning. There's just fans you have. If you don't have the fan on you, you're sweating. Like before you even go out of the apartment, you'll be in your shirt and tie, and your shirt will be like drenched. But you just kind of get used to it. Obama was elected president for his first term when I was there, and holy cow, that was a party for all of Africa, especially Ghana. And they just like loved the fact that there was a black man as a president. And they just like thought it was the coolest thing ever. And so I don't know if this is a tradition, but something they loved is they literally put Obama's face on like everything. Cookies, underwear, pencils, any building you could see, you saw Obama. And so they were in love with Obama. And what's funny is you'll see a bajillion unfinished buildings. Like they are known to build, like to start something, but then they run out of money. And so then they just like leave it there. And so there's tons and tons of unfinished walls, which are just cement. My understanding is there's not like a lot. I know here there's a lot of wood framing and stuff like that. They don't do that very much there. It's a lot of the cement as a foundation, and then the walls and things like that. They don't have a lot of carpet. They do just they're like a plastic carpet thing, or just like a covering over cement. Walls are just typically painted. When it's a little more remote, you have houses with mud a lot and sticks and stuff like that. So there are slave castles actually in Cape Coast, which are now historic places to visit, which is sad, of course, because as I toured there one day, you can just see the way they were treated. Specific to Ghana and probably West Africa, probably all of Africa actually, is a thing called fufu. And what that is a mixture of plantain and cassava. And cassava is like a potato. And so you boil both of these, and after you boil them, you take turns. They have this big pistol, they call it, which is a stake with a little flat rolly thing, and then a mortar. So you have pistol and mortar, and then you just place one at a time, and then they just softly smash them. And then you add one, you keep going until you've taken all the cassava, and as you keep adding, it's bigger, bigger, bigger until it becomes like this ball of dough. And then they take it out, put the plantain in, do the same thing, and then they mix the two. And by the time this thing is big, these guys who like pound this stuff, whether it's for a restaurant or just at home, they are ripped. I mean, these guys are so strong because they're just and so one of the service, we would always do this whenever we'd walk by, part of just getting to know people and be friendly. We'd always go and jump aside, and then we'd do it for them, and they'd be like, here's another great word, is Obruni. Obruni means white guy. And so they'd be, hey, Obruni. They just loved having Americans. They love white people, especially the little kids. I mean, they'd come up to you and they loved like your hair and stuff like that. Anyway, back to fufu. So it took me a very, very long time to finally like this stuff. And so now that when you smash it together, you have these like round balls they put into just this bowl, and then they put soup in it. And this groundnut soup, which is like this peanut butter soup, which is delicious. And some of these other soups, they're not coming to me right now, but just some delicious soups. And the way to eat it is, it's kind of, they don't care if Americans do this because they understand, but you're not supposed to eat with a spoon, you eat with your fingers. And so you use your fingers to kind of, get in there and pinch, and then with your thumb you create a little hole and it acts like a spoon. You get the soup in there, and you're not supposed to chew either, you're just supposed to swallow. And so I have a terrible gag reflex. And so I remember the very first time I was fed fufu as a young greenie missionary. And I just look at this thing and I'm like, there's no way I am eating this. And my companion was eating pieces like, just like this big. And I was eating pieces just like little pills. I was just like, and by the time he was done, I still like, it didn't even look like it went anywhere. Like it was just expanding in the bowl. And I was like, are you kidding me? Anyway, as time went on, you get used to it, and then you end up just loving it. But yeah, that's fufu. Talk about eating something and not wanting to move. That they have what you call like beer belly here in America. Fufu belly is the term there because that stuff just like sits in your stomach and it's not going anywhere. And so if you eat that for lunch, you just like want to go home and sleep. But it's good.